Yo, what's good, music heads? You're locked into Girl Group Studios live from New York City. And today we're cutting through the noise to tackle a question that's been bugging me and probably you too. Boy bands and girl groups, where did they go? Now gather around because we're talking about something important. Just think those synchronized dance moves, those harmonies that just pure magic, the sheer power of a group, From the very first time you saw them, it was undeniable, right? Who wasn't in front of the TV trying to copy that B2K choreo or trying to sing like Kelly Rowland in the shower? Come on, you did. Don't front. Now, here's the thing, you guys. When you look at today, you ask yourself, where are they? It's like a desert out there. So we're really going to break this down. We're going to go from the history books to the charts, from the indie scene to the major labels. We're talking about the undeniable impact, all those industry forces pushing and pulling. And yeah, we're going to discuss why sometimes these amazing groups they dissolve. And a little birdie, actually an insider lawyer, whispers some secrets or just information, I would say, about why it gets complicated when you're trying to split everything within a group and why being a solo act can suddenly look very appealing. So grab your popcorn because we're about to shine a light on groups that made us dance, and we're answering the biggest question: where in the world are the groups? Let's do this. All right. Let's dive into the freshest buzz. The AMAs happened Monday night, and there's so much to unpack. Plus, some other headlines that got our attention. Let's get into the news. First up, can we talk about Miss Janet Jackson? She graced the AMA stage Monday night for the first time in 7 years, giving us a medley including Someone to Call My Lover, which is my personal favorite. Check that out on the Girl Group Studios playlist, all for you. And it was very enjoyable. It was everything. I like Janet Jackson just in general, but I love that she committed to having the microphone on. She looked just young and she looked fresh, and she just looked like she was really enjoying herself. She looked like she's in a really good space. But what really got me was her acceptance speech. She talked about following your dreams and how her family started out saying, "I don't consider myself an icon. My family, myself, our dream wasn't ever to be famous. We weren't raised like that. We always had a special love for music, dancing and singing, and fame came with the result of hard work and dedication. My family, my story, it's truly an American story. This would have only happened in America." That's right. The Jacksons truly are the American dream. Still at the AMAs this past Monday night, we also saw Gwen Stefani there celebrating the 20th anniversary of her iconic album, Love Angel Music Baby. She performed a medley that everyone was just really up for. I watched a few clips. The whole performance is not online, but from what I saw, she just was coming with a fresh tone, a very sunny set, and congratulations to Gwen Stefani. I remember 20 years ago when that album was actively in rotation, and you had everybody singing BANANAS. This is bananas. So shout out to Gwen. And even just her collaborations with Eve. Like, they did multiple songs together. Dope. Then we had Jennifer Lopez. She basically is an AMA staple, performing there more than 10 times. Well, she was also hosting the show this past Monday night for the second time, and she just does it all, doesn't she? Multi-talented queen. She opened the show with a dance melody and a vocal performance of a medley of songs. Pretty much everyone that was nominated within this year, she danced to or sang to in some of her songs as well. She kissed 2 girls on stage, which was, I've never seen Jennifer Lopez do that, and I don't think Jennifer Lopez needs to do that. She's Jennifer Lopez, but this isn't even that type of show, but that's what she did. And so it is what it is. Multi-talented queen. And in a big win for the AMAs, SZA took home the award for favorite female R&B artist. She beat out some serious talent like Tyla, Summer Walker, and Kehlani. So shout out to SZA. Now, switching gears a bit, we need to send some serious well wishes to D'Angelo. He announced last week that he will no longer be headlining the 2025 Roots Picnic, releasing a statement on the festival's social media pages. He said there's been an unforeseen medical delay regarding surgery he had earlier this year, and doctors advised the performance could further complicate matters as he recovers. The Roots Picnic is still on for May 31st and June 1st in Philly, and Maxwell will be stepping in to replace him. We hope D'Angelo has a smooth and speedy recovery. All right, you've got the latest headlines. Now it's time for our people poll. Quick, simple, yes or no question for you today. Thinking about your personal music journey, have you ever wished you were part of a famous music group? Hit us up with your yes or no on social media. Tag us. We want to hear from you. What is your dream group? We want to know. All right, let's kick this off with a rewind to the eras when groups absolutely ran the airwaves. This wasn't just some passing trend, this was a whole movement, a total force of nature. Let's dig into who really set the standard. The blueprint. Let's start off with the Supremes. Okay, we're talking about Motown royalty. Beyond the massive hits, these ladies set the standard for glamour, those super tight harmonies, and just crossing over into every single living room. Pure class, pure pop magic, and they open doors for so many other acts. Also on Motown, you can't forget about the Temptations, and you can't forget about the Beatles, and just bands like that who have truly paved the way for our today genre, and then bringing us up to another era of serving of magnificent groups. We have the 90s, TLC. Total game changers, plain and simple. Individuality, tackling just real social issues, the condom on the left eye, breaking every mold with their style, and their fearless lyrics. They weren't just a group to me. I felt like TLC had a whole statement and they just were pushing the boundaries. And I love that for them. And then we have to talk about Destiny's Child, just a superstar launch pad, just fierce, independent, vocal power. You could feel each of them individually, but I love when they come together. Then you got to talk about the biggest girl group in the world, girl power, my UK girlies, Spice Girls, the global phenomenon. I remember going to the corner store back in the day, the bodega, and they had Spice Girl lollipops. Like each member had a lollipop. I'm not making this up. So these 5 women literally exploded onto the scene with those catchy anthems, just being super distinct with their looks. Oh man. Naming the Spice Girls at this moment is like naming the 7 Doors. It's like, can you really remember? Let's see. Scary Spice, Mel B. Is Mel B Scary Spice? Okay, so you have Mel B, then you have Posh, then you have Baby Spice, then you have Sporty Spice. Mixing hip-hop with soul and reggae, can we talk about the Fugees? Seriously, I love the Fugees. Their critical success, mixing hip-hop, soul, and reggae with some seriously deep, profound lyrics. Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Pras Mitchell, they were just special, man. And a critical and commercial success, pushing artistic boundaries and delivering conscious music. I love them. Shout out to the Fugees. And bringing that laid back, cool California rock pop vibe with incredible musicianship and those unmistakably sisterly harmonies. Shout out to Han. I also want to highlight the rise of boy bands. The Jackson 5, The Temptations, New Edition, B2K, NSYNC. The list goes on. But starting with the Jackson 5, the family phenomenon, period. Just undeniable talent. Michael, Jermaine, look, I can remember them though. Michael, Jermaine, Tito, Jackie, Marlon, pure magic. The Temptations, Motown harmonies, that iconic choreography, just timeless appeal. These guys were just smooth, sophisticated, and just had that undeniable swagger. A masterclass in coordinated just coolness, if you ask me. Just honestly, the Temptations is the blueprint. But then the R&B pioneers bridging the era, New Edition, just launching so many solo stars. They gave us Bobby Brown, Belle Biv DeVoe. They showed us how a group can also be that perfect blend of just sexy, but also street, which then Jodeci comes along. You see the trend? But then in the peak, early 2000s, late 90s, we got pop perfection with NSYNC. I love NSYNC. I really rock with NSYNC. I really do. I can't take it back. I said I love and then I rock. I love NSYNC. I think that JC doesn't get enough credit. JC sings down. And those mics are always on. I just love them because they can sing. Great group. Great group. Now moving on to the rap and I want to talk about some hip hop pioneers crossing over. They showed the world how rap could go mainstream, and they were fashion icons too. I'm talking about Run DMC. They laid the absolute foundation for so many artists who came after them. The Beastie Boys coming through with their genre-bending, rebellious energy, insane instrumental skills from punk to hip-hop. They smashed every expectation, showing you absolutely you don't have to fit into a box. And then I want to talk about this collective called the internet. I love the internet and their neo soul R&B. It has a bit of funk with it. Just, shout out to Sid and Matt and Steve. I think they're a perfect example of a modern group that's more about the overall collective vibe and the individuality too. I think they're super dope, just constantly just pushing the boundaries in really cool ways. And then you have groups like The Roots. See, we often talk about bands playing instruments and groups being vocalists, but The Roots are the epitome of a hip hop band. They play live instruments, like that's their whole vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like setting them apart from many traditional rap groups, they're living proof of musical integrity, bringing live instrumentation to the hip hop forefront. Okay. Personal pick time for me. If you're looking for a group that embodies everything we're talking about right now, but in a totally different, unexpected way, you have to check out Bad Bad Not Good. Some people call them BBNG. I call them Bad Bad Not Good. These guys are a Canadian instrumental band, but they just transcend genres. They started out doing hip hop covers. Then they were collaborating with Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, Ghostface Killah. They infuse jazz, hip hop, instrumental hip hop, and they infuse it with incredible musicianship. I actually saw them live, lucky enough, in Brooklyn. Basically, they're like a modern day jazz, hip hop fusion collective. And if I had to recommend anything, just listen to all their music. They have a beautiful tiny desk. Hit me up personally, and I'll give you some recommendations. Let's dissect some famous splits, and here's some cold, hard realities. One Direction, just a massive global group. They perfected the boy band formula for the digital age. Then came the hiatus, and bam, solo stars everywhere. Harry Styles. Was this inevitable? When you're that big, I believe the individual draws are hard to ignore. Fifth Harmony, they were a huge modern girl group, right? Strong vocals, dope tracks. But with any group, especially when you're that successful and in the spotlight, things can get really complicated. And solo aspirations are real, and the pressure of a group environment can be incredibly tough on relationships. I believe it's a journey many groups go through, and you just eventually go off on your own path. Neo-soul groups like Lucy Pearl, just a super dream group, including Raphael Sadiq, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, and Dawn Robinson. Incredible talented. I love Lucy Pearl. Dance Tonight still gets play. But individual strong personalities and different visions can challenge a group. It's like having 3 CEOs run one company. It doesn't really work out. A duo with a unique spoken word and singing blend, Flowetry. I want to highlight them and their breakup, as Marsha Ambrose later revealed, was complex, involving personal struggles for Natalie Stewart that impacted their artistic collaboration and friendship. This shows it's not about creative differences. Sometimes life just pulls a group apart, and personal struggles can impact the collective. I once spoke to an industry insider, a lawyer, who deals with these contracts, and they told me straight up it gets hard for groups because they have to split everything: royalties, touring income, endorsements, even merch sales. And here's the kicker: every member should, and often has, to pay for their own individual lawyers to look over these contracts. So I want you to think about it. That adds up. When you're making big money, dividing it 5 or 6 ways, and then each person is paying for their own legal fees, sometimes it just looks easier and frankly more profitable to be a solo artist. And that, my friends, is often why groups sometimes break up, and that could be one reason, allegedly. It's not always beef. Sometimes it's just basic economics and legal complexities. Allegedly. I just like saying allegedly. It's nothing to allege. Today, you don't need a group to break. Solo artists can connect directly with fans, build massive personal brands. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram allows artists to explode without needing a group machine. It's all about a direct connection now, sometimes cutting out the middleman and the group dynamics. Are we just less into heavily manufactured pop groups? Maybe it's more about authenticity and less about strict choreography for some Western markets now. I don't know. Just the relentless grind, the recording, the promo. I can see how it could take a massive toll, leading to the exhaustion and strained relationships within a group. The pressure is immense. Ultimately, whether it's a band, a group, or a collective, the power of multiple voices and visions coming together to create something bigger than themselves, to me, that's undeniable. The challenges are real. And as I highlighted earlier, so is the magic. So is the magic. And maybe groups are not gone, maybe they're just evolving. And that, my friends, is something to look forward to. And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of boy bands and girl groups, from the raw energy of Run DMC to the polished pop of NSYNC, the powerful sisterhood of TLC, and the incredible musicianship of Bad Bad Not Good. These groups have left an incredible mark on the music industry. So, what about you? What's your favorite group, band, or girl group anthem? Or maybe a lesser known group you think maybe we should have spoke about today, or you think should have been huge? Hit us up on social media using hashtag Girl Group Studios and tell us your thoughts. I love hearing from you. And for those of you who participated in our people poll, thanks for sharing your yes or no. You can check that out on Spotify. And before we go, make sure you check out the Girl Group Studios playlist, which I update on Apple. And we got all the legendary tracks we talked about tonight, plus a whole lot more to get you moving and grooving. So seriously, check that out. Go download it as fast as you can and blast it. That's our show for tonight. Huge thanks for tuning in and letting us break down the music game. Keep listening, keep discovering, and keep that collective spirit alive. Until next time, peace.